In today's media ecosystem, feel-good stories can be few and far between, and as someone who spends my days trudging through the muck of said system, I think I need them more than anyone. So today, I have one for you. Spencer Pratt, who is the OG villain of reality TV's early days on MTV's The Hills, is in his redemption era.
I was the one that wanted to kill anybody that would ever talk like that about my sister, and I still would. But that goes for my mom, too, and as a family, that's how we all should be.
Well, I didn't say anything negative about your mom. Your mom is just the vagina that made Heidi come onto Earth. Your mom is not Jesus or God or the Creator.
She was.
So why can't I say that? So why can't I say that? Why can't I say that? No, it's not. It's my opinion. It's my opinion.
Thy mother and father.
Take your... Hey, preacher, this isn't Bible study. This is Earth. No one's preaching. No one's preaching. No one's preaching here.
He and his wife Heidi are amongst the multitude of celebrities who lost their homes and everything they own in the Palisades fires this month, and he has been documenting the aftermath on TikTok.
This morning, Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag opening up after the devastating loss of their home in the Pacific Palisades fire.
What was it that made this one so different when you realized, oh my gosh, we might not survive this one?
The worst was like our kid's room that like is like so magical. We do story time every night. It's like such our routine. So much love is in there. Our son's bed started just like burning in the shape of a heart. Like the fire just started as a heart. And I was like, this is like out of body, insane.
What makes Spencer's story stand out and why he has captivated the nation, really much of the rest of the world, is because he has found a very unlikely way to save his family and rebuild, and it is all playing out online. First, I'm Hannah Cox with Base Politics. Welcome to my channel where I bring you my politically homeless takes on politics and culture. Before we get going, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you've not already, and of course, ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of my episodes. If Titanic had the band that played music in its final hours as it sank beneath the current, Spencer Pratt videos have become the violin music playing as TikTok sinks beneath the waves and what may be its final days, at least in America. Like, this guy has truly gotten the entire world in his corner. And before I show you how, I need you to understand just how big of a redemption arc this actually is. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it.
If you were to have told 2011 me that Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag were one, still together, but two, capturing the hearts of millions, I would have said, what are you on? These two who were portrayed as the most villainous humans to ever exist on reality TV. If you lived in that time, if you grew up during this time, there was no other option. That's how you perceive them. This guy was the #1 F-boy in the world. And you wanted Heidi to break up with him so badly because he ruined everything. He ruined everything for her. But did he? And were we just watching a kind of scripted reality show? Probably. Do I think he leaned into that character? Absolutely. But what he is doing right now, he is in his Reputation Taylor's version era, which is why I believe that Reputation Taylor's version will be released this year, all thanks to Spencer Pratt.
I know there's going to inevitably be people in my comments saying, I don't watch reality TV or I didn't watch this show. I don't care. I didn't either. I was too busy working and being in college by the time it was at its height, but it was inescapable. So if you were like at least in your teens during the late 2010s, you knew about this couple. They were absolutely everywhere. They dubbed them Spidey. There was constant drama and they were hated, like really hated. And not just because apparently they behaved badly on the show, which again, I didn't watch, so I can't attest to firsthand, but they were painted in a bad light on the show and people hated them for that. People thought Spencer was a horrible boyfriend, a horrible guy, just like lowest of the low, deadbeat scums, last person you'd want your daughter dating. Heidi also increasingly became painted as a bad guy, I guess because of her association with Spencer. They were pitted against the star of the show, Lauren Conrad. And I mean, not just their relationship, anything they did was on the cover of magazines. And we were still in that era where that kind of stuff mattered. That really shaped the narrative. I still to this day remember when Heidi got a whole bunch of plastic surgery in one day and like broke the media. I mean, it was all anybody could talk about. And it was before people were really forthcoming about the fact that they'd had plastic surgery done. Like, she was really kind of ahead of her era in hindsight. And really, the things she had done, I remember thinking it was crazy. Like, it was basic things that people do now. Like, she had like an eyebrow lift, a chin shave, like, it really wasn't as drastic as we acted like it was, but it was front page news. It was absolutely everywhere. And you would have thought they were the most sinister, evil people because of these actions that you'd ever heard of, which really just shows you how easy the public is to manipulate. Because even Spencer and Heidi have said in recent years that production was increasingly kind of casting them in this role. They were doing some editing to sort of portray them in this way. I think a lot of the show ended up being scripted, and they just decided to lean into it. That's where the money was. They went for it. And we just didn't have the media literacy back then that we, I guess, somewhat have now, even though I would still argue most people are pretty bad at understanding when they're being manipulated or sold something or something's being edited. Like, we still have a lot of work to do in that area. But I think at least nowadays people understand if you go on reality TV, they can clip things, they can splice them, they can cast you as the bad guy, they can make you look bad even when you're not doing anything necessarily wrong. And that certainly seems to be what happened to Spencer and Heidi. Now, some people have been going back and rewatching this show. I can't rewatch it because I didn't watch it the first time. But apparently people who are doing that are realizing like, oh, wait, this isn't quite as I thought it was when I watched this earlier in my life. And I did have that experience with The Hill's sister show, Laguna Beach, which came out when I was in high school. It was really the first reality show that blew up. And I remember hating Kristen Cavallari and really liking Lauren and feeling sorry for Lauren. And then I watched it back, I think shortly after college, back when Netflix was first getting up and going. And I was shook because Lauren sucked. She was trying to steal Kristen's boyfriend the whole time. She had like this total victim mindset. Like, I hated Lauren Conrad when I watched it with a fully formed brain. So I had that same sort of light bulb experience, you know, of realizing that I had been totally manipulated. And I think that's probably what is happening with people who are watching The Hills, which also features Lauren Conrad. I think she's a jerk. I think she's the bad guy across the board. So this whole arc for Spencer and Heidi did not just start when the fires happened, but it has sent it into overdrive. People had already been realizing that maybe they had misjudged them. Spencer had already been posting a good bit on TikTok, revealing that he was, a super Taylor Swift fan. He had a bunch of hummingbirds he was feeding. And most importantly, it was increasingly becoming obvious to the public that Spencer Pratt is a wife guy. Far from how he was cast in The Hills and portrayed, this guy is obsessed with Heidi. And they've now been married for like almost 2 decades, like something crazy, okay? So obviously it panned out, they have kids, but this guy loves his wife unabashedly.
Don't comment on how Heidi dresses. Everybody I hang out with loves how she dresses.
Oh, bro.
Your ex, you're an intern, bro.
I'm not an intern. Excuse me, sir. I'm not an intern.
You're assistant to my boy, Diamond. Listen real quick. Listen. Heidi dresses cute every day.
That's
she
fine,
looks
buddy.
amazing. You're not the boss. Don't tell her how to dress.
All right.
That's it.
Heidi dresses cute every single day. I've never seen something sweeter in my life. We love a man who stands up for his woman, who supports her, who defends her. I mean, this is gold. I'm really struggling to see how anybody ever hated this guy. But no matter what happened in the past, people love him now. And the fires and them having this horrible trauma of not only losing their home, but apparently his parents also lost their home. It seems like he grew up in this area. A lot of their friends have lost everything that they own. And he has just been coming to social media with a ton of vulnerability, a ton of humility, and working to save his family. I mean, he's quite open about that. He's been posting videos where he'll say, I'm just trying to get this to a minute to make sure it can be monetized. I'm trying to get my story out there. And everybody is with him.
Let's be clear, if I seem like the most unhinged, crashing out person on this whole app, I am. Let's just get that freaking clear. I have lost my mind. If you start thinking about every single thing you've ever bought and like you bought it with money you didn't have to even buy it and it was like a reckless purchase and it's gone and you just can't stop thinking about each item, the dumbest things you could think. I had ozone water showers. I had Toto toilets to wash your butt and the freaking seat was warm. All this stuff that was out of my price bracket, things that I would just like, I hustled to get because I wanted a freaking better life that I shouldn't have had. I probably shouldn't have bought it, but I did. So let's just be honest and clear. in the comment section when people were like, oh, what's wrong with this person? Everything, okay? Everything. I'm keeping it together here because I have 2 kids and I want to freaking have them go to college and have a freaking life, okay? So this is crashing out at its finest, okay? We're all on the same page.
I have to say, it seems that the number one thing Spencer saved in the fire was Heidi t-shirts, because he's been wearing one in every single video ever since. At least, I hope that's multiple t-shirts. So people started rooting for Spencer, and it isn't hard to see why, because I think this kind of masculine energy is what society, and women in particular, are so hungry for. He doesn't care how he looks. He's not concerned with looking cool or being macho or trying to be strong. He's open and he's fighting for his family the best way that he can. And so as the support started increasing, people were saying, we're going to go stream The Hills to support you, or we're going to push for these various different platforms to give you another reality TV show. And he kept saying, no, that's not going to actually help us. What you can do is stream Heidi's music. And this completely flew under my radar, but apparently 15 years ago, they invested a significant chunk of their money that they made from reality TV into making Heidi into a pop star, which again, this man has been standing her and supporting her all along. And they put out this album that honestly slaps. Like, the songs are really good, and they are written by a lot of the hit makers who have formed the careers of other big pop stars like Katy Perry, and it's produced really well. So I don't know why it flopped, other than the fact that people just hated Spidey and had been made to hate Spidey by the time it came out. So they took a huge L on this years ago. They lost money. It was critically panned. I think it sold like 1,000 records in its first week. It totally bombed. But as Spencer started playing the music on TikTok, encouraging other people to play it, championing it, people listen, and they have literally transformed this album into a #1 hit as of this week.
Cheers to all of you. I am married to a 12. Gotta cheers it. Where you go? 12 #1s. Thank you to everyone in the world. I mean, everyone in the world, clearly, but mainly Australia, Canada, Ireland, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Oman, Philippines, Sweden, United Kingdom, hey, United States. Okay, so Slovenia, you get an honorable mention. #3, Panama, we'll take that. Trying to read that. And Estonia. Cheers.
Unfortunately, I can't play you a lot of the videos that are going around on TikTok because it has the music in the background, but here he is celebrating it hitting #1. And he's just so funny. As it started to increase in popularity, he was calling people out, or at least preparing to call people out who weren't supporting Heidi. This video made me LOL.
There's a lot of people I know that haven't posted Heidi's music that I'm not only going to block in social media, but in real life. And then, God willing, when I'm rich and famous, I am going to burn them down. I'm going to be on my private jet. It'll be electric private jet because, I don't want to get canceled for like emissions or whatever. And I'm going to be like on the jet, be like, remember that person that didn't support you to help you become a pop superstar, Heidi? I don't remember them. But like, I'm trying to keep it cool because the list is growing, and I'm keep checking every person that's tagging me. I'm looking at all my accounts. I'm like, how hard is it to post a video playing some of Heidi's music? Even if you don't buy the song, you can for free get it off of TikTok or IG. So soon I'm gonna start naming names, I think, because I have a pretty crazy contact list of how many numbers are in my phone. And I'm just gonna start going out. I'm gonna name names. It's on. Because I'm starting to get a little mad.
So now all of these celebrities, after he posted this, are coming online and dancing to the video. It is hysterical. Here's a screenshot of Kristen Cavallari. Here's Paris Hilton. Here's Howie Mandel. So not only has this effort now gotten the album to #1 on the charts, now bigger stars, bigger producers are coming in and wanting to add tracks to it. They're going to re-release some of the songs. This thing is blowing up.
OMG, heading into the studio. Get ready, #1 hit record coming. Thank you to the #1 hit writer, #1 producer that sent this last night. This is going to be the fastest cut record. We got it last night. We're already here. Drove all the way. Game on. Pop star behind me. There she is. Let's go. This is the one. We're going 10 times diamond.
I just love everything about this. I love how people come to each other's rescue. I love, especially on platforms like TikTok, how easy it is to really come in and make a huge difference in somebody's life. And this is not the first time we've seen something like this happen, where somebody posts a need, somebody posts something that's happening in their life, and people rush in to help them, whether it be streaming their music, whether it be buying things off an Amazon list for them, buying their products, going and flooding the reviews of their business with positive comments. Like, this is just the best of humanity. And it's such a feel-good story. And not only is it so cool to see how others have rushed to support these people, I just think it's really great to see Spencer out here as an example of true masculinity. Because again, this is what we need to see from more men, right? He had the world dumped on his head over the past couple of weeks, and he is figuring it out. He put that burden on his back. He got to work the best way he could find, and he's turning it around. He didn't wallow. He didn't feel sorry for himself. He didn't sit there and complain. He didn't say, woe is me. He got to work. I just contrast watching this go down on TikTok with what I've been watching go down on Twitter over the past couple of days, where you have a whole bunch of unemployed or underemployed men who are crying on the internet saying that they haven't been given the jobs they feel entitled to. Never mind the fact that men are increasingly not going to school, they're not getting degrees, and they're not even acquiring actual skill sets in other ways, like going to trade school. Instead, they're just sitting online and complaining about immigrants coming in and taking their jobs. And there was a conservative commentator who pointed out, like, even if you don't have any skills, even if you've done none of the work to actually deserve a nice job, you can go work at somewhere like Panda Express and be a manager and get paid $70,000 a year. And they're all like, how dare you tell us to do that kind of work? Fast food is beneath us. Like, how fair is that if we're telling American men that they have to go wrap burritos? Like, that's not beneath you. Get to work. Figure your life out. Good God, please. As I said on Twitter, like, we have got to bring back the mentality of pull yourself up by your bootstraps in this country. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it across the board, left, right, male, female, but there is nothing that gives me the ick faster than a man sitting around and complaining when things aren't handed to them. Go work. So yeah, I just think Spencer stands in such stark contrast to so many of these bozos out there.
This man is obsessed with his wife. He believed in her so much, he took all his cash and invested it into her dream. Now, that dream didn't turn out the way that they wanted to, and they continued on with life, had two beautiful boys, and recently lived in LA, had their whole life turned to ashes. So he's been building this TikTok community for a minute based off of hummingbirds and, calling out celebrities and all this stuff. But when his house burnt down, he did exactly what a real man does. He figured it out. He went to work, boo, and he utilized the power of the internet because that was his most powerful tool. So this self-awareness that he had to understand that that is what he was working with, he went to the internet. He not only is increasing his own platform, he got his wife's failed album from 15 years ago to go #1 on Apple iTunes. And then this man went online with gratitude, thanked everybody, and cried like a man. Like a man. May God bless me with the type of love that this man has for his family. Who cares about anything else but the survival of your family? And he did it.
Furthermore, not only has Spencer found a way to help his family and the people around him out and hopefully propel them forward, he's also noted that he intends to use this newfound success to help his community. Again, this is real masculinity. You don't just help yourself. You don't just provide for your family. You look out for the community around you as well.
I'm not going to even stitch the person because I don't want to be connected to demons and people already going to hell. But somebody just tagged me. They made a TikTok and they're like, appreciate your hustle, Spencer, but
I'm tired now. Why don't you talk about some fundraisers? I can't wait to be the face of all the fundraisers that are rebuilding the Palisades. But right now, I need to rebuild my family's house, as in Heidi and mine and my 2 kids, and my parents' house, and have money for our food and to eat. And then, after I lock that in, what do you think I'm going to be doing for the next 5 years? Rebuilding the town I grew up in, where all my best friends, childhood friends, my parents' friends, my freaking kids' friends, all their houses burned down. You don't think I'm in group chats with 1,000 people that lost their freaking house? You don't think I'm behind the lawsuit that's coming after everyone that's responsible? So you little demon, you already know all the profanity. I don't want to lose my TikTok, but every bit of profanity that Heidi would want me to say is directed at you. So everybody, you already know, don't play with me.
It's hot. I don't know what else to tell you. It's hot. We love to see this. This is just so incredible. I'm definitely a fan. And I think it's a really important lesson in, again, understanding how the media works, understanding when forces are out there that are trying to sway you to think a certain way about various issues or about various people. People have to improve their critical thinking skills. They have to learn to look for nuance. They have to learn to give second chances and to accept when perhaps their first judgments were wrong, because boy, did everybody, absolutely everybody, have it wrong about this guy, except for Heidi, who stood by him all along, who always had his back. And it looks like behind the scenes, he's had her back every step of the way as well. So go stream their music, support these folks. I think they're fantastic, and I'll wrap it there. If you like this episode, make sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel if you've not already, and if you want even more content, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok.